Hey, whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Gray, and welcome back to the Pokeath'locke. Today we are kicking off Season 6 of the Pokeath'locke. I know this is a day that most of you probably never thought would get here, which is fair, granted, since it's been like 2 years, probably longer, 2-3 years, since the last season of the Pokeath'locke wrapped up. I probably should have looked at that. I know we started Season 5 in like 2018, and I think I wrapped it up towards the beginning of the pandemic. I could be wrong, but anyway, here we are, Season 6 of the Pokeath'locke kicking off in Pokemon Y, and this season we are going to be completing an Avatar lock. Every season of the Pokeath'locke, we go through a new region with a new Nuzlocke variant, and so that is what we're going to be kicking off here today. We will be going into the details of what all of that means. You guys are like, Pokeath'locke, what's that? Avatar lock, what's that? All of these things are things that have been lost to time, so we will jump into them here as we go. Let's jump right into it so we don't have to watch the intro for the 100th time, and we'll talk through it. Well, Professor Sycamore is going through the tutorial here. We'll talk a little bit. I've got the emulation set at about 200% for the 3DS. I just figured that would give us a good range. If you guys are finding that is too fast, or too distracting or whatever, if it's not working for you, let me know, and we will go ahead and get that switched around in future episodes. But yes, so we are kicking off Season 6 of the Pokeath'locke. So the Pokeath'locke is our series where we are running through every generation of Pokemon. We started with the Pokemon Yellow Dice Lock, then we did a Pokemon Crystal Wedlock, then we did a Pokemon Emerald Little Lock, then we did a Pokemon Platinum Random Lock, and culminating in Season 5, which was a Pokemon Black 2? Yeah, Black 2 Rotten Egg Lock. And this season we are doing a Pokemon Y Avatar Lock. We go by Tort in the Pokeath'locke. Tres bien! Alright, fantastic. Tort, your adventure begins now. So this is Season 6 of that. After this will be Season 7 in Pokemon Moon, I think was the plan, and then so on and so forth. So, yeah, we've got some generations of Pokemon that have come out since we started the Pokeath'locke, so this season's series has gotten even longer. The Pokeath'locke is, of course, the progeny of the Hexath'locke, which was the first series we did on this channel where we ran through the first 6 generations of Pokemon, and then I realized that, Hexath'locke meant 6, event challenge, 6 Nuzlocke challenge, but then I realized they're just going to keep coming out with generations of Pokemon, so it's going to be really hard for us to continue this on in the future if we don't have if we have our series named after the number of events in it. So Pokeath'locke is the term, and so we've talked about that. So the way that we do this is supposed to be like a continuing challenge. So each generation we carry with us a bit from the generation before, and we do that in the form of transfers. We will talk a bit about transfers in a little bit because it takes us a while to get to the transfers in this game. We've got to get to the second town. The first town does not have a Pokemon Center with a PC in it. So we are going to go and get our Pokemon, but let's talk about the Avatar lock because that actually becomes relevant much sooner than the transfers for the Pokeath'locke does. So, I said this season we do a unique Nuzlocke variant in each season, and this season's is the Avatar lock, which is aptly timed because the live-action series just dropped on Netflix this last week. And so very excited to be getting into this now with all of you. I did note, I'm not seeing it now, but when I was first trying this out, and I had the emulation running at 100%, I was getting a lot of real big dips. It would drop to, like, it would freeze, basically. I haven't seen that since I cranked it up to 200%, and I think after I was noticing that, I went ahead and cranked, or closed some things on my computer. So, my graphics card should be able to handle all this stuff, but I haven't done a lot of 3DS emulation, and so I'm just still kind of getting the hang of it. But since I cranked it up to 200%, I haven't noticed that. But if we see it, I'll tinker with things as we go. But we're here meeting our plethora of rivals, and we are going to go ahead and get our starter here, but the avatar lock we need to talk about before we do that. So the avatar lock is kind of like a mono lock. Basically what it does is it breaks you into one of 4 nations. We don't get to be the avatar, but we live in the world of the avatars. So we are either an air nomad, a member of the water tribe, from the fire nation, or a member of the earth kingdom. And at the end of last season, we went ahead and you guys voted, and we ended up as a member of the Earth Kingdom, which means that we can use, I'll have had the graphic up on the screen here, but just for my own edification, that means we can use ground types, rock types, steel types, and fighting types primarily. But all 4 nations are able to use bug types and normal types. We can use, flying, ghost, psychic, fairy, water, ice, grass, poison, fire, electric, dark, or dragon, if they have a typing that is also ground, rock, steel, or fighting. I don't think we're going to be allowing normal types, like normal fire. Like, I don't think I can use a pyroar or something, because that's just going to be a bit much. Now, pick your own. What is that? Okay, so I'm going to have, as you guys can see in... as you guys can see down in the bottom left there, I had some great art commissioned for this of myself as Uncle Iroh. So I'm going to have our rivals here call me Uncle. And we'll go from there. All right. So, but as we are members of the Earth Kingdom, that means that both our transfers and our starter, and all of our subsequent catches, I guess, will be from those 4 primary types. Now, I don't think it has to be like their actual primary type has to be ground. Like, we'll come up against like Bunnelby later, which their primary type is normal, but their secondary type is ground. Now, we can use normal types, but just as an example, like, it doesn't have to be. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head. But I guess we'll see potentially an example here in a little bit. But anyway, let's jump into grabbing our starter here. Basically, what that means is we can only use ground, rock, steel, or fighting types, which means that really only one of these starters is actually available to us, and that is Chespin. We used Chespin when we did our blind run of this game. Was it a blind run? I know we did Hexath'locke season... No, because I'd used Fennekin. So yeah, it was Chespin when we did the blind run. Yeah. Chespin, because Chespin's final evolution... So I guess this is a good example. Chespin is a primary grass type, which would normally fall under the water tribe because they can bend the vines and everything. But because Chespin's secondary typing is fighting, we are able to... Oh! And we've got a little girl, which I did not expect. I was going to name this Chespin Bolin, but we'll have to save that name for later. I guess Toph is going to be our starter. All right, well, fantastic. A little female Chespin. What are the odds on that? I feel like the odds are pretty low to get a female starter, but I think maybe in later generations they got cranked up slightly. So you decided to give it the name Toph. Yep, we'll go ahead. Toph will be our starter. I'll have to update the overlay. I already kind of plugged that in. All right, so fantastic. We got our little starter Chespin, and we'll be able to get going here. So as I said, our nation... is going to affect not only our starter and our transfers, but also all the catches that we do throughout the course of this run, which means that there are a lot of catches or routes that we're just not going to be able to get catches on. But as part of this challenge, so I guess I kind of explained the avatar lock. Do we understand that? Basically, it's kind of like a mono lock, except for you have like 4 or 5 types that you could use as opposed to just one. You're limiting most of the typings, but not all of them. So it's kind of like stepping us toward a monolock. We can only really primarily be using ground, rock, steel, and fighting types, and that's going to be very challenging because a lot of ground and rock have a lot of the same weaknesses. We don't have a lot of coverage there, so it's going to be a bit difficult for us to go up against certain opponents, I would imagine. Now, we've got something we got to take to our mom, but I think first we're going to be battling Serena? Shauna. Serena's somebody else. Alright, so we are up against Shauna and her Froakie, and she's got a little girl too, so maybe it's not that rare. Alright, so Toph is going to come at you here with the Vine Whip. Very nice. Looking good, Toph. Alright, fantastic. Down goes Froakie, and we get the level. Here we go. Alright, so now we need to go talk to our mom. We gotta drop off the letter, and then we will be heading on our way. My goal for today is to get to our transfers at the very least, and to explain everything we're doing. But so basically, the avatar lock, it's basically just restricting the types that we can use. So I think that makes sense. All the other standard Nuzlocke rules apply. The first encounter on each route. For us, it'll be the first legal encounter on each route, because a lot of these routes are going to have Pokemon that we can't actually use because they're, water types or whatever. And so we will be the first legal encounter on each route. So I've got a spreadsheet here of all the legal encounters on each route. I think we're only going to be able to catch Pokemon on like half of the routes of this game. And so that'll be something that we'll be butting up against. So it's going to be pretty limited. Not only are we going to have difficulty going up against some opponents, but if that causes us to lose Pokemon, we're going to have difficulty replacing them as well. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But yeah, so we'll be nicknaming Pokemon, obviously, and if a Pokemon faints, we'll be boxing it. I don't do releases. I like to have the Heaven box in the PC so that we can kind of keep track of where we've gone and what we've done. So that's purely that. Not that we ever get to use them again. Obviously, it's all the same, but they'll be boxed instead of released. So that leads us then back to the Pokeath'locke. So as we talked about, the avatar lock restricts our transfer pool. So the transfer pool, you guys are wondering, what is that? So yes, I know how to use the tab map. So for transfers, the Pokeath'locke, the way we do it is each new generation, we get the option of bringing in 2 of our former teammates, because this is a continuing challenge. So we started in Pokemon Yellow, but we're kind of supposed to be like the same character moving through each region. We have, a bunch of Pokemon we used in each of the subsequent seasons. This is season 6, so we've had 5 full seasons previous to this, where we, potentially have some Pokemon we could be pulling from. So at the end of each season, you guys have voted on what I think you guys each get like 2 votes, and then I tally the votes from what you guys picked, and then usually it's majority rules, depending on what the season is, majority rules on, what those transfers will be for the following season. But for the purposes of this season, we had to limit that pool a little bit, and so maybe we'll have that up on screen now. You'll be able to see that, we had a much more limited transfer pool this time. We can't use all the Pokemon that we've caught in the past because, obviously, those Pokemon are not all legal to be members of the Earth Kingdom. Ooh, we can buy some Pokemon. So how much money do we have? We'll buy 10. So not all of them would be legal, so not all of them can be used. And so like last season for the Rotten Egglocke, I had you guys vote for like your least favorites. Normally, if there's not a lot of rules in play, then you guys get to just kind of choose your favorites or whatever. But for this one, you guys had to choose which Pokemon you thought we could use of the legal Earth Kingdom encounters. And so you'll see there that we had Churchill available, we had Napoleon available, we had Aragorn and Penelope, we had Bertha, Roku, Cessna, Schnoz, and Jaeger, I think, is everybody from our transfer pool who was available. And so we will see once we get to the next town who that's going to be. But first off, we have got this encounter doesn't count. Again, first legal encounter. I haven't watched anybody do an avatar lock. I've read about them a little bit. I don't know if they would normally, because everyone can use normal types. I don't know if generally Pidgey would be considered legal, but I'm not going to be counting it as legal. Especially because that first encounter is a scripted one. I don't count that anyway, and I actually think usually we wouldn't be getting Pokeballs until this right here. This is the catching tutorial. I wonder, I shouldn't have bought Pokeballs, I guess, because I think Serena's supposed to give us a bunch of them. But either way, so Serena's going to show us how to catch some Pokemon here, and then we'll be able to do our first encounter. So, but as with transferring in this book, so you guys get to vote for 2 from any of our previous generations to come in. Obviously, that's going to get a little messy once we get into the Switch games because we've got Dexit. So there going to be a lot of transfers that are potentially legal to come in. But for now, we have the ability to bring in basically anybody. But so you guys voted, and we'll see who those are. But in order to bring in transfers from our previous generations and help us continue on our series, we have to give something up, because that's just too OP to just get 2 Pokemon, free Pokemon at the beginning of every season. So what we do is we give up 6 potential encounters to bring in those 2 Pokemon. So we forfeit 3 routes per transfer in order to bring those Pokemon into the games. Okay, now I want to check. Did she give me Pokemon or no? Oh, she balls. She did. Yes. Okay. Great. And I got a premier ball. Okay. Fantastic. Oh, we haven't looked at little Toph yet. Let's look at her really quick. So Overgrow, obviously. Ooh. Is that attack lowering, special attack raising? That's not. Oh no. Oh no. Red is good. Blue is bad. Well, that's actually probably a pretty good little chessman then. Okay. I see you, Toph. All right. That's great. Toph would be adamant. All right, so we're here on Route 2, and so for that, we do have a couple of legal encounters we can do here on Route 2, so let's jump in here. Okay, and we have found ourselves a little Bunnelby, so that's a good one. Female, level 2. All right, level 2, we could probably afford a tackle. Whew. Almost barely. I guess Toph is adamant. We gotta be careful. Okay, so Bunnelby, we've got plenty of Pokeballs. Let's go ahead and throw the Premier Ball here. Why not? We got it. Hey, we did it. Fantastic. All right, gotcha. Bunnelby was caught. So Bunnelby will be our Route 2 encounter, which is great. Bunnelby's data would add to the Pokedex. Fantastic. All right, and then we'll give a nickname to the caught Bunnelby. Yep, we're gonna nickname this Bunnelby Flopsy. Gonna try and stick to names that are relevant to the Earth Kingdom as we continue on here. Oh, a trainer already. Ooh, I guess we battled Shauna. Zigzagoon. What level is this Zigzagoon? 5. We should be fine. Let's go for the stab. Is Vine Whip physical? Probably, right? Should be. But yeah, so we'll get through here. I think I'm gonna probably. Well, we do have an encounter in Santoline Forest here, I think. But then we'll probably speed through there and try and get us through to our transfers. And yeah, so Santoline Forest, we do have an encounter here. Oh, so the routes that we're forfeiting, I mentioned that we okay, Shauna's gonna walk with us. So before I do another catch, so Route 2 is not forfeited, but Route 3 is, which I think is the route on the north end of Santoline Forest. So here are the six forfeited routes that we are giving up in order to bring in our transfers. So we're giving up Route 3, and these are all randomly generated. I put in the whole list of encounterable routes into a random number generator, and then it spits out the first 6 that it spits out are the ones that are forfeited. I don't really get a say in this. So Route 3, Route 11, Route 16, Route 22, Lumiose City, and Victory Road. I rolled these a long time ago. I'm pretty sure those are, I mean, obviously all the routes would be, I'm pretty sure Lumiose City must have some sort of encounter or gift Pokemon or something in it, because usually I don't, if it gives me like a route that there's not an encounter available there, I usually re-roll it. So, so again, Route 3, Route 11, Route 16, Route 22, Lumiose City, and Victory Road are our forfeited routes. But that does not include Route 2, where we just caught Flopsy, and it does not include Santoline Forest. There we go. Let's do our encounter in here real quick. Panpour is not a legal encounter, but I will happily demolish it. Ooh, we gotta talk to Shauna. I think she doesn't auto heal us. I think we have to actually ask her to, so we'll go ahead and do that. I think like previous partners in like Gen 4 or whatever would like when you rollout, nice. When you're going through a forest, they would, yes. All right, there we go. All right. Oh, but we need our encounter. That's what we're doing. Let's get our encounter real quick, and then we'll zip through the remainder of the forest. All right. So Weedle is a primary bug, so we'll go with that, I guess. I would have preferred a Gen 6 Pokemon, but that's fine. All right, so let's, I don't want a poison point, really, so let's just go ahead and try a Pokeball. I didn't think to buy antidotes. Although Shauna can hear it. Shauna can hear us. Okay, that's fine. I forgot about that. All right, easy mode here. All right, so we've got Weedle, the bug type. Give a nickname to the caught Weedle. Yes. Let's see, what's a good name? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and at one point, again, I did all of this years ago. I pulled together a big list of like all the Earth Kingdom characters that ever get named, at least at the time that I did it. Now, this wouldn't include necessarily the comics or everything. The name Poi came out, and so Poison Point, Pointy, Poi is going to be the name of this Weedle. So there we go. Weedle on the team. Talk to Shauna. Oh, Panseer. I do not really want to go up against a Panseer right now. Fire types with my grass type. Let's get out of here. Okay. Oh. Okay, she's going to grab me something. I'm going to go ahead and zip through the rest of this, I think. I think I've explained the Pokeath'locke and you know, everything else so far. So we're going to zip through, and I will see you guys on the other side of the forest to pick up our transfers. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are in Santaloon City. I'm not sure how much of that I'm going to make you guys sit through, but I do want to highlight you guys before we hop into the Pokemon Center that we did go ahead and I took advantage of Shauna, her healing, to go ahead and level up Flopsy and Poi a little bit, and so they're both level 6. Let's look. We've got a defense lowering, special defense raising nature on Poi. Which is what is gentle, all right. And then on, oh no, that's tough. I'm like, do we have another? And then we've got speed raising. So we've got like a hasty. All right, interesting. All right. It's got pickup ability. Does pickup become huge power? No, Bunnelby can have huge power. So it's not going to be a huge power Bunnelby. But that's okay. But those are our two Pokemon. Oh. Let's go ahead and pop into the Pokemon Center here, and we will see what transfers you guys selected from the transfer pool. Alrighty, so while we quick heal up, let me quick run you through once again what your options were. So for Earth Kingdom legal transfers, you had the choice between Churchill, Napoleon, Aragorn, Penelope, Bertha, Roku, Cessna, Schnoz, and Jaeger. Were the only ones that were legal for use in this season. And of the choices you guys had, let's check the PC and see who made the cut. So what's PC? Organized boxes. And there we are. We have Roku the Chimchar and Penelope the Swinub. So we had, let me look at the votes again. So Penelope got 5 votes. Which put her in a definite lead. And then we had a tie. Both Roku and Cessna, the Yanma, each had 3 votes. And I plugged it into a random number generator, and Roku won the tie. So there we go. So we will have Roku, who we caught as an Infernape in the Pokemon Platinum Random Lock. And then we have Penelope, who we first used in our Pokemon Crystal Wedlock, and then I believe she got transferred also into, I think her and our Bulbasaur got transferred into the Random Lock, maybe? That seems right. Because we had those, yeah, I think so. So maybe Penelope and Roku were both in that season. I don't remember now, but she's definitely been transferred one other time before. So I think it was in Platinum. But anyway, so there we go, guys. That is the transfers for this season, season 6 of the Little Lock. Not the Little Lock. Oh, it's been a long time since I recorded one of these. Of the Avatar Lock. So this is going to be our team going forward. Let me see. So let's quick. So these guys all carried through their abilities and their natures and everything like that from previous generations. As a reminder, so Roku comes in as level 5 because his max level was in the 50s. Everyone comes in as a 10th of their level rounded down. So if he was in his 50s, he comes in as level 5, and then Penelope was in the 70s last time we used her, so she came in as level 7. So yeah, Penelope, technically Swinub can't learn Ancient Power, but because Penelope made it to being a Mammal Swine in the past, she gets to retain Ancient Power so that she can achieve that once again, and I don't anticipate it being an issue legality-wise, because technically Swinub can't learn it. Piloswine can. I guess we could potentially find a move relearner at some point or whatever. I don't know. We'll look into it. But yeah, so that's the team for now. We've got Flopsy, Toph, Poi, Roku, and Penelope going into Season 6 of the Pokeath'locke, the Avatar Lock. Let's take a quick moment. I don't want to jump into the gym, obviously, today. I think there's a gym in this town. But Roku and Penelope, well, Roku's a little underleveled. Let's go see Roku in action, at least here. Let's see if we can't find some grass. This is Route 3. We did not have an encounter here. It was a forfeit. But we got Roku here up against Pidgey. So we're not going to have a lot of opportunity to get other fire types here, being members of the Earth Kingdom. So this is going to be a nice little get, having Roku on the team. Already taking a bit of damage there. Don't wanna lose Roku right off the bat. Come on, Roku, you can do it, buddy. There we go. So fantastic. They do recognize me as their original trainer, so we shouldn't have any experience gain issues. But yeah, so there we go, guys. So we've covered the Avatar Lock, we've covered what the Pokeath'locke itself is, and we've covered our forfeited routes, who our transfers are, all of that. I think that's enough accomplished for today. I don't remember where we're supposed to be going from here, but I will take a look at what's coming down the pipeline for us and get prepared for next episode. I'm going to hopefully plan to have these out once a week, maybe looking at like Pokemon Days or something like that once again, but trying to get at least one episode of this out to you guys a week, in addition to wrapping up Gray Version Season 4, our Pokemon Showdown community engagement series, hoping to wrap up that season as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for updates on this series, and I look forward to continuing the adventure with you guys once again. Alrighty guys, I've been Tortimer Grade, you guys have been great. Make sure to leave the... Oh, what is it? I'm Tortimer Grade, you guys have been great. Make sure to leave those likes, comments, and subscriptions for me, guys, and I'll see you all back here next time. Alrighty guys, have a good one.